Imagine waking up tomorrow, checking the news, and discovering that 5 major car brands are vanishing from European roads forever. The cars you once saw everywhere, the showrooms you visited, and the legendary badges you admired are fading into automotive history. This isn't a rumor. This is the new reality of Europe's car market, documented by official sources. Stay tuned, because the brands you know might not survive the next year. And if you own one, listen closely, because your resale value, after-sales support, and future ownership experience could all be about to change. Let's dive deep into the data. Here are the 5 car brands disappearing from Europe by 2026. Let's start with a few words about why this mass extinction is happening right now. According to the European Automobile Manufacturers Association, the ASA, the continent's auto industry is going through its most dramatic structural upheaval in a century. EU car sales are still about 18% lower than pre-pandemic levels. Battery electric vehicle registrations have dropped 8.4%, and overall market share for electric cars is trending downward rather than up. Most importantly, high manufacturing costs, cutthroat price competition, especially from Chinese brands, and new, stricter CO2 emission targets slated to take effect in 2025 and 2026 mean even the largest automakers are struggling to keep their portfolios afloat. European leaders are calling it an extinction event for heritage brands. Nearly 14 major auto brands operate under the Stellantis umbrella alone, many of which are in trouble. The company's own leadership has openly warned shareholders that some storied European marques will be shut down or sold by 2026. We're not talking about just a dip in sales, but corporations carving up century-old legacies to survive. And what's happening at Stellantis is a microcosm for what's unfolding industry-wide. So let's begin our countdown. The first disappearing brand, Lancia. What's left of Lancia today? Once synonymous with rally legends and Italian style, Lancia in Europe is now a shadow of its former self. As of 2025, Stellantis supports Lancia's existence with just one model, the Ypsilon, a badge-engineered hatchback sold almost exclusively in Italy. Official sales figures show that in early 2025, Ypsilon sales dropped 73% compared to previous years. Expansion plans into other countries fizzled out, and the dealer footprint outside Italy is nearly non-existent. Stellantis executives have confirmed publicly funding for new Lancia products is guaranteed only through 2026, and there are no concrete launches scheduled for the next generation Gamma or Delta until years later, if at all. Lancia's presence in Europe beyond 2026 is, by their own admission, unlikely. Imagine crossing European borders and never seeing a Lancia again. The few remaining Ypsilons on the road will be seen only in niche Italian towns, destined to become rare collector's items. For anyone still holding out hope, official statements are clear. If sales and profitability do not improve, Stellantis will shut down or sell off the brand entirely by 2026. All that could remain is a logo on some electric Chinese platform years down the line, or a relic of history in Italian automotive museums. Next on the list, DS Automobiles. The French luxury brand DS Automobiles, another creation under Stellantis, is in critical condition. Sales reports from ACA and Stellantis show a 30% drop year-on-year. Industry analysts describe DS as being on life support, with even less market presence than Infiniti had in its last days in Europe. DS Automobiles, positioned as the French alternative to premium German brands, simply cannot compete, especially as internal competition from Peugeot and Citroën siphons off its market. Official statements from Stellantis leadership outline a bleak future. Unless profitability radically improves, DS will be cut from the lineup during the brand review planned for 2026. Dealer networks are shrinking rapidly, and marketing budgets have been slashed. Unless DS achieves a miracle, it's heading for termination. For DS owners and fans, this means ownership headaches ahead, rare parts, specialist repairs becoming expensive and hard to find, and the risk that even software updates will end up unsupported. The specter of brands like Saab, where owners struggled for years to maintain their vehicles, now hangs over DS Automobiles' future. Now let's talk about the next victim, Mitsubishi. Mitsubishi once had a loyal following across Europe, known for reliability, ruggedness, and a strong motorsport heritage. But official ASA data reveals the story. Mitsubishi's sales collapsed from 171,000 units a few years ago to only 50,000 in 2024, a staggering 68% decline. Without making any public exit announcement, Mitsubishi froze European model development in 2024. The CEO confirmed, no future plans, no fresh cars, just silence. Their focus is on maintaining existing vehicles and supporting repairs, not launching new models. With emissions regulations tightening, models like the Jimny have been banned, and no new EVs are planned for Europe. Dealers are being instructed to pivot to servicing or close altogether. If you see a new Mitsubishi on the road, consider it the last of a dying breed. Experts say the brand will quietly fizzle out by 2026, leaving behind only a shrinking after-sales network and slowly vanishing dealer signs. For current owners, resale values are dropping, and future support will become increasingly uncertain. Brand number 4 is Jaguar. Jaguar is executing one of the most radical transformations in the industry, scrapping its entire traditional lineup to focus exclusively on ultra-high-end electric vehicles priced at €100,000 and above. This isn't just a rebrand, it's a reset, leaving current dealers with nothing to sell for well over a year. Official ACA reports show that showroom stock has disappeared, with just 49 new Jaguars registered across Europe in 1 month of 2025. The new copy-nothing identity may work for headline-grabbing launches, but it's wiping out the practical business of dealerships and everyday buyers. The official plan is to pause all conventional sales and re-enter the market with EVs only, but analysts and Jaguar insiders say the risk of complete market disappearance is extremely high in this transition. Current Jaguar owners feel the pinch as model support ends, dealer locations close, and legacy models become difficult to service. It's a scenario that turns heritage into myth, a brand once known for style and performance, now possibly condemned to history or reserved solely for the ultra-rich in 2026 and beyond. Finally, the fifth vanishing brand, Alfa Romeo. Alfa Romeo, another legendary Italian marque, finds itself endangered despite new electric launches. Global sales were down 19% in 2024, and Stellantis leaders have made public threats to sell or shut down Alfa if results do not improve. The transition to EVs is failing to generate sufficient volume, and the brand faces the risk of being axed in Stellantis' 2026 review. New electric models have not delivered the sales turnaround required, and European dealer networks continue to shrink. Official sources confirm that unless profits and sales bounce back strongly in the next year, Alfa heads for closure or sale, possibly to non-European owners for relaunch as a niche product. This brand, famed for passion and motorsport, is one bad quarter away from extinction in Europe. For existing customers, expect parts shortages, uncertain warranty support, and dwindling dealer options. For Alfa enthusiasts, the legend may live on in memory in history books, but on European roads, it could be gone in just a year. Revisiting Mitsubishi, the situation is complicated by mixed signals. While Mitsubishi Motors Europe announced in September 2025 the launch of the all-new Eclipse Cross electric SUV for the European market, the reality is stark. This is an OEM rebadged Renault built to fulfill joint venture obligations, not a sign of renewed commitment. In fact, only 1 or 2 electrified models will be available, and Mitsubishi's own executives have openly stated the brand's European presence is only being wound down rather than sustainably rebuilt. New vehicle lineups are not planned after 2026, according to internal statements and external press analysis, as the company pivots resources to Asia and other, more profitable markets. This means that current Mitsubishi dealerships across Europe will continue servicing existing vehicles for a transitional period, but new Mitsubishi-badged models beyond those already contractual are not expected. For owners, parts and service will be available temporarily via legacy networks, but the option to buy a new Mitsubishi or count on new product cycles will vanish by 2026. It's a textbook definition of a slow but certain exit, leaving vehicle owners to rely increasingly on independent service providers and the aftermarket. As for DS Automobiles, the prognosis isn't any brighter. Sales have dropped more than 30%, and Stellantis is making it clear that brands not hitting profit targets could face axing, with DS specifically cited as being on life support by industry analysts and official statement fragments. The platform sharing strategy has proven a liability, as buyers see little reason to pay premium prices for models that are nearly identical under the skin to much cheaper Peugeots. DS attempted a pivot towards full electrification, but official product roadmaps confirm the brand will likely be folded into broader PSA service networks by 2026, losing its upscale identity and perhaps ceasing to exist as a standalone mark. The likely scenario is that DS models will disappear from dealer showrooms entirely, with residual customer support integrated into existing Citroën and Peugeot service points instead. While technical support remains for those already owning a DS, the intangible benefits of brand exclusivity, prestige, and resale value effectively vanish. Turning to Jaguar, the transition is arguably the most radical and the most perilous. Jaguar's official communications confirm that production of all current models, including the flagship I-Pace, will cease by mid-2025, with a complete brand reset to follow. The aim is to relaunch Jaguar from 2026 with a tiny portfolio of ultra-luxury, all-electric models, each expected to retail at over £100,000. The brand is taking a full year off from mass-market car making, stopping production of every existing petrol and diesel vehicle, and closing most traditional dealerships in favor of low-volume brand experience outlets. Official press releases and executive interviews leave no doubt. If Jaguar's electric reinvention fails to ignite immediate demand, the brand may not survive at all in the mainstream marketplace. So for existing owners, after-sales services will be narrowed and dealer support reduced, at least until the new strategy's viability is proven. Vehicle values for conventionally powered Jaguars are already plunging, and parts supply is expected to tighten as soon as legacy stocks run out. For many, the classic Jaguar badge will become a collector's rarity rather than a real-world choice. This is the sharp edge of electrification and luxury realignment in Europe's car sector. What does all of this mean for European car buyers? First, expect unprecedented volatility in the used car market. Disappearing brands usually trigger crushing depreciation, even on recently purchased vehicles. Expect difficulty securing warranty repairs, spare parts, and service for models built by these orphaned brands. Dealers still operating may focus only on honoring outstanding obligations, with no incentive to maintain or attract new customers. Secondly, dealerships themselves will see staff layoffs and closures, especially in smaller cities and towns. Local economies accustomed to a thriving car retail business will suffer job losses, and communities feeling the pinch of shrinking service networks may end up with white-box showrooms urgently searching for new franchises. Finally, consumers planning their next car purchase must be more cautious than ever. Stick to brands with clear, officially published long-term product strategies, and consider the availability of independent specialists who can support your car once official networks disappear. When new regulations or market shifts threaten a brand, resale values can collapse literally overnight. And now here's the twist. Even established brands aren't immune. In the new era of electrification, Chinese and American EV brands are flooding the market, pushing legacy European names to the brink. Will your next car come from a brand you've never even heard of before? Or will you risk it all for tradition? The car world is changing faster than anyone imagined. If you found value in this deep dive, subscribe now and share your own experiences with these brands in the comments below. What makes a car brand trustworthy to you? And would you buy a model you know could disappear? Hit the bell for breaking market updates, and together, let's navigate the future of motoring. This is Autopedia, where you stay in the driver's seat, no matter how fast the world changes.